Greetings sailors and welcome back to World of Warships, and it's patch day, and that means that the Japanese battlecruiser line is now an actual branch that you can play. So I thought I would take a look at the Yumihari, which is the tier 8, where it splits off from the main branch. There's also all of the Christmas stuff going on, as you can see very prominently in the background. And there's also a dockyard going on as well. So there's many ways that Wargaming have provided for you to spend your money if you should feel so inclined. This, however, doesn't require spending money because it's now a tech tree branch. So yeah, let's have a go and see how I do with the Yumihari. I've played a couple of games in it already, and it's, well, we'll see. My feelings on it are a little bit mixed. It is very squashy for a tier 8. Its armour is somewhere, compared to the other Japanese battleships, its armour is somewhere between tier 6 and tier 7 in terms of its effectiveness, but it's at tier 8, and like other battle cruiser lines that have been added, it has retained the 25mm fore and aft armour. So unlike everyone else, well, not everyone else, but unlike the majority of battleships that have 32mm, it means that you still have that overmatch to worry about that tier 7 and below battleships also get with, is it 15 or 16-inch guns? I think it's 16-inch guns. So yeah, it does feel quite squashy, and it also has quite a substantial amount of superstructure as well for high explosive to go through. Heck, there's even a fair few things that have high explosive that will be able to go through these fore and aft deck armour areas as well. So yeah, just overall it feels a little on the squashy side, and because this is only a 10-point captain, I don't actually have the extra heal yet as well, so that contributes to the feeling of squashiness. Right, so tier 9 game. Carriers in play, no submarines, thankfully, and we'll get to see what the gimmick is in this, because yeah, it does a new thing, this line. It's basically got a variation on the spotter plane that, when you use it, gives you enhanced accuracy. So you not only get extra firing range, but you also get decreased shell dispersion. It only lasts for 55 seconds though, and that doesn't quite give you time for 2 full salvos if you're sort of starting your reload at the point where you pop the spotter. So you have to make sure you're timing it correctly if you want to get the full use out of it. But yeah, it really does make a difference, especially at close range. You don't have to only use it at long range. If you use it at close range, it can produce some quite devastating results, but at long range it definitely helps. And because you have this squashier style of ship, having that extra bit of utility at longer ranges is useful. And you know, it's kind of like what was the bonus from Deadeye? I can't even remember. But it's kind of like Deadeye, but they took it and put it in a consumable form that you can only use every so often, because it's got a cooldown of nearly 2 minutes. So yeah, you have to actually be thinking about when to use it, and it's also actually useful at all ranges as opposed to Deadeye only being useful at long ranges. So yeah, was it Deadeye? I can't remember what that... alright, is it because I've been playing World of Tanks? Because there's a World of Tanks commander skill called Deadeye. I think it was Deadeye, right? I can't remember. Anyway, we'll actually pop it right now. It does give us the option of doing the usual switch between views. We'll see if that was anywhere close. These are the usual 410mm guns. And I want to vent. And so yeah, they're pretty decent. They have reasonable pen at longer ranges. The only downside is you've only got 8 of them, like Nagato. So you do have the slightly faster reload to make up for it, I guess. But it isn't a terrifying broadside by any stretch of the imagination. Ooh, nice. That wasn't just me, though. One citadel was... yeah, that was more than one citadel's worth of damage. Oh dear, that poor York. That's what happens sometimes when you get caught in a broadside. And you're spotted, and there's not a lot you can do except cross your fingers and hope. Right, so there's the Fletcher here. We do have a good presence on this side. The Fletcher is probably the main thing we have to worry about. Our Chungmu can't actually torpedo them, of course. Yeah, in theory we can push a bit here, but also means that they probably have a similar concentration on the other side. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, there's the Fletcher. You're going to accelerate forwards, aren't you? See if that does anything. No, never mind. That Rook is also trying to desperately turn around and power away. Right, so there goes the Chungmu, which is a bit unfortunate. Both sides have lost most of their destroyers already, though. Fletcher and an Akatsuki, that's all that's left. And we're only 4 minutes in. And that Fletcher ain't looking too healthy. So yeah, unsurprisingly, they have thinned out the sea cap quite considerably. Turret traverse ain't anything special, but the flaring angles are actually okay on this. So you can make some use of that belt, but like I said, it's not... like, even the belt arm is not especially great. It is sort of somewhere in between tier 6 and tier 7 in terms of its belt armour. Even like Nagato has, I think, a comparable sort of upper part of the belt, but then the lower part of the belt is actually stronger. Even things like Fuso, where it has like 200mm upper part of the belt, but then the lower part is actually more than this gets. So yeah, it's like a solid 229mm belt on this. Right, so yeah, this is kind of a weirdly symmetrical match so far. Sort of both sides are having the exact same things happening. I could push through the middle into the B cap, but that is probably not a good idea. This is not a good close quarters ship, especially. Well, having said that, if you do get into close quarters, like I said, if you have that available, that can prove to be that 10% reduction to dispersion can prove to be very, very nasty. Right, that's a Sejong. Let's try and smoke. Let's have a... ooh, don't like the look of that. Oh, it's a Navarin. Monarch firing high explosive, which if it hits me is actually potentially going to be quite nasty. Just trying to get a little unspotted before they can fire at me again. Right, that was not the best in that my forward ones all went into that, but that's fine. Sejong is down. I think we very firmly have the numbers advantage at this point. Pommer's making a push. That's the tier 9 on this line, the Atara. It doesn't have a special heal, this, so yeah. Once you've taken that damage, it tends to stick. Right, let's think about popping that shortly, but we want to wait until we've got that much more reloaded. So apologies if I sound a bit nasal today. Sometimes one's voice does not quite behave as one wants it to. Right, there's the Navarin. Hippo, what are you doing? Oh, overpans. Of course, even with the extra help, it's still battleship RNG. Right, you're on fire and flooding. And we want to get... I don't know if those ones will. Right, this was a little disappointing. We didn't get any big hits out of this, but yeah. I have had some where it's like, oh yeah, you pop it and at close range it's like, oh no, 3 citadels. Enjoy. But sadly not this time. Sometimes RNG just decides to be a little bit mean. We're whittling away though. We're not doing any like huge amounts of damage, but that's fine. It would be nice to get some citadels. Oh, that was okay. 11k. Probably the Sejong that's going to get the kill there. That Navarin's going down, so I don't know. Maybe I can, maybe I can ram this monarch. It might come to that. If I can catch up. I certainly have the time to do it. It's not like we're sitting at 900 points or anything like that. Right, Monarch. Everyone's gunning for you. That can't be a comfortable situation, but it is what it is. There we go, 20k Citadel. That wasn't even with the benefit of the spotter. What's it even called? High precision spotter. I angled a little bit. Took some of that on the belt. Well, I might as well pop the spotter. We are in the very last throes of this battle. Oh well, Sejong got it. 125k, not bad. No kills though. We never had to be the brunt of anyone's attention in that one, so that worked out fairly well. And I don't know how that was worth being top of the team, but sure, I'll take it. Well, in terms of the tiering, again, matchmaking kind, even kinder than last time. There's a sub this time though, so maybe a little less kind in that regard, but yeah. Of course, most of those battleship guns can still overmatch my bow armour. We've got some solid battleships on our side though, Alabama and Bismarck. Both fairly capable of tanking decent amounts of damage. Talking of tanking decent amounts of damage, there's actually a video on my Patreon which is Without commentary, I just recorded a replay. It was like a bonus thing for my Patreon page where it was an asymmetric battle with quite a silly ending in the Delaware. And I really wasn't expecting it to be. I was able to cheese the bots a bit, so it really wasn't one I would have considered doing the full song and dance for, but it was sort of vaguely entertaining enough I thought I would record the replay. So if you check out my Patreon page, you don't have to be a member or anything to actually see it. It's uploaded there, and you can, I don't know, watch it on fast forward. It really is the end that gets a little bit silly. And it absolutely would not have worked against human players. It was just because it was the bots. And they do seem to have some specific behaviours going for them that I was able to use. Because if they'd all rushed me at once, it would have been fairly bad. But yeah, most of them do kind of rush the players, but some of them don't. And some of them hang back to like guard the base area if it's a standard game. And that's what happens. So yeah, I just had this steady last couple of ships appearing into my guns while I was desperately trying to stay alive. So anyway, that's a thing you can go and see. That's exclusive to my Patreon page. I don't often do stuff like that. Anyway, to the task at hand. What is that? A Cossack. So yeah, they are going to be able to beat up Arasashio if they manage to get tabs on them. But Arasashio should help keep their ships away. Borodino gets radar, right? I'm pretty sure it does. That's another battlecruiser type with fairly squashy armour. Accurate guns though, it's got proper battlecruiser accuracy. I don't know if these do, this line, actually. I'm not sure. It's a thing I neglected to check. And it's not always information that's readily available either. Right, that is... I'm not even gonna... What was it? Is it Dmitri? I can't remember. Something Pozarski, which I'm probably completely mangling, but yeah, basically an AP only Kutuzov that they sort of gave away. Talking of giving away, they've done some, like, aside from the dockyard, they're also doing a weird copy-paste ship giveaway thing. So we have the Scharnhorst 43 and the Stored 43, which, as far as I can tell, are basically just premium copied versions of ships we already have in game, which is, it's maybe a sign of things to come. I really don't know. Also, what was the Catalunya doing there? Very odd. But I mean, for that kind of, it's like doing that kind of more low effort premium ship for a giveaway for people to just, like, you know, play the game a bit, and here you get this ship. Well, that's true at least for the Scharnhorst anyway. You've got to pay some doubloons if you want to get the Stored 43. I don't know if it's going to be terrifically appealing to many people, but we'll see. It's also competing with the dockyard and Santa crates for people's doubloons at the moment, so I don't know how many people will actually get the Stored, but we'll see. There's a perfectly capable tech tree stored, so yeah. Anyway, we've got them on the run from this cap. And I'm sort of alternating my front and rear turrets a little bit. I'm more worried about the Borodino's guns, to be honest. Although Heinrich's guns are absolutely not bad. I certainly want to stay out of secondary range as well. Right, so that's probably the Cossack capping. And not quite enough, I can tell when it's going down south. You can see the stealth on this is pretty reasonable. Or it's not exceptionally bad, it's almost more rare to have a battleship with bad concealment these days. Than it is to be able to say, oh yeah, this has, you know, good concealment. There's a couple you can say they have exceptional concealment for battleships, but yeah, bad concealment for a battleship does kind of feel like an unusual thing. Right, should we pop a heel? I guess so. So the Bismarck and the Richelieu are still very much alive. We've lost our Alabama, unfortunately. We've resorted to high explosive. Oh, Citadel, nice. Right, there is a Cossack somewhere ahead of me. Okay, oh, their Richelieu is low health. Nice to see what their Bismarck's doing. I'm going to guesstimate that a little bit. Right, that's going to be slightly annoying if they're surviving to be on the flank. Was that Pensacola just AFK? Well, we can report that. Or if the AFK... Oh, ouch. The AFK, I'm not... How did you manage to run into them? Borodino would be my question. How did you manage to do that? I found the one stationary ship that's not doing anything and ran into it. Who else is aiming at me? Is it the... Heinrich? Let's see this. I really need to do bad things to this Borodino, because they're going to do worse things to me. Oh, 3 ships now aiming at me. I don't like that at all. The Pensacola woke up. Right, Borodino is still the biggest threat. So I think we should try and get people to concentrate fire on that. That would be fantastic. Also have to be wary of the Heinrich's torpedoes. This is probably not an optimal firing off of that, but that's okay. Getting the cap, we're sort of fighting for points a bit here. Borodino is having to contend with that awkward all-forward turret arrangement. I may well go down here, we're not hitting hard enough. I can't really turn around to... make any kind of quick getaway here. I could really do with a couple of tasty citadels and just like deleting that Borodino, but the RNG is not with me. Meanwhile, that Heinrich creeping ever closer. Oh well. very shortly. And hey, look, here's the plane. Yeah, well, Pensacola finished me off. What a shame. That Borodino, man. He's also got quite squishy armor. I still managed 100k damage, but yeah. The RNG was just not really with me there. And I don't think my teammates in firing range were particularly... like, too many people going for the Pensacola, because hey, it's a Pensacola, it's the squishy Pensacola, we've got to kill the Pensacola. Instead of going for the actual high threat target, which was the Borodino. So, yeah, that could have gone better. I think with coordination, we probably could have together killed the Borodino, but everyone's splitting their fire. How did you get spotted, Asashio? Were you air spotted? Who knows? Anyway, we'll see what the outcome of this one is. 100k damage, you know, I'll take it. It's not terrible. But, yeah. It did show off, I suppose, the fact that you can't really, like, even against a ship that doesn't have that many guns, the Borodino, and a lower tier ship, you know, you can't stand up to the punishment for any significant length of time. Well, I think we might be losing this one. Their Bismarck is basically full health. Also, I realised I was, for some reason, getting the Eitel Friedrich mixed up with the tier 7. So, no torpedoes. That's why it took so long for the secondaries to open up on me. Because the Eitel Friedrich doesn't have torpedoes. But yeah, the fact that they still have a full health Bismarck, and all we've got left now is what is that? Paracruisers? No, not even a Paracruisers. We've got the Cleveland, the Asashio, and the Ryujo. That's it. So we overtook them in points for a brief period of time, but yeah. Oh well, the Borodino at least might finally go down. They are now very low health. The fact that the fact that it was the tier 6, the Eitel Friedrich, rather than even the tier 7, makes it even sillier that it took so long to put it down. Ah well. So there we are, about to time out on points. Only our carrier left. They did actually manage to kill the Bismarck somehow. But, yeah, it was all too late at that stage. I think we'll do one more. 100k, yeah, not bad. Yeah, the Asashio did a fair bit of damage to that Bismarck, so I think they probably picked up a decent score from that. Catalonia, I don't know, they just did a suicide charge right at the start. Anyway, battle on. I feel like that could have been winnable, but some key players would have needed to play differently. I want more tier 9s and carriers again. What have we got? No submarines. Fair few battleships in this one. It's like half the team of battleships, just about, so yeah. Plenty of things that can do very bad things to me with their big guns. Also 3 Yumihari, so everyone's now, I guess, grinding this that wants to, I suppose. I could, in theory, just use free XP, but when a line like this appears, I like to actually grind it out, get to know the ships a bit. If you're just doing it with free XP, I mean, yeah, it's a lot quicker, but you don't really get to know the ships in the same way. And also, you know, it's sort of gives one something to do. Anyway, let's see. I can't remember what the Halford is, but I very much know what Paolo Emilio is, so I'll have to watch out for one of those that decides it's going to do a run on somebody. Yeah. Why is the Halford? I mean, it's obviously US, but what does it do? I can always look it up afterwards if I remember. Which I probably won't. I've got to go to work later, so... Oh, hello, Paga. Yeah, it's not fantastic AA. It's, you know, Japanese battleship AA. It's about what you'd expect. Try a bit of blind shooting on this Mars. It's definitely still in the camp. No, I have no idea what that pinging is about. I don't want to commit too hard here. It's me, Kansas, Baltimore, and the Mars, and if they've got a whole bunch of things coming over, then yeah, we need to be in a position where we can run away. I guess our Mars is all too keenly aware of the fact that, you know, they both have hydro, so nobody's going to be sneaking up on nobody. I'm a little tempted to open up at that Massachusetts, which did not get me spotted. Nice. Ooh, Lepanto. Yeah, we don't want none of that. Lucia. Spotted. Right, we're a little outnumbered. It's what, 4 versus 6? So yeah, definitely, definitely some caution required. Got a better chance of making a getaway than the Kansas does, that's for sure. Right. Not synchronised up with our reloads at all, but oh dear, there goes our Mars. And the Baltimore, yeah, okay, this is running away time. This is definitely running away time. Okay, you might want to be going in the other direction, Colossus. So I didn't get much use out of this spotter. This is not... this is not filling me with confidence so far. This is really not filling me with confidence. This might not be a long match. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. This might just be scramble to do as much damage as you can. Hello, Mars. What's the Mars? 8.5? 8 kilometres tall, something like that, I can't remember. Don't have to worry too much if we're heading away from them anyway. There goes the helmet. Yeah, I think this one might be a bit of a ruffle stomp. This is turning out to be like the last battle. At least one could say we were in contention. We were absolutely in contention. We could have won it. There was enough margin there that it wouldn't have taken things going much differently. This one, however, I don't think we're in contention. I really don't. Not even close. This is just kind of a little bit sad. Oh well, sometimes games are like this. Sometimes games are just utterly hopeless and there's not much you can do about it. Yeah, I don't think I'm even going to get close to 100k this time. Not even remotely close. Like, these guys are being super cautious, and they really don't have to be at this stage. Oh, come on. I've popped this thing. I want to be able to use it. Oh my god. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, what can you say? Other than, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. There's not much more to it than that. This was just a little bit sad. May be able to finish off the Massachusetts. Yeah. This was just kind of a little bit pathetic. So we can finish off this Massachusetts at least. Ah. Yeah, even with a quicker reload, you just don't have a particularly heavy broadside for tier 8. So yeah, it's like I was saying at the very start, you know, it's got some good points, this line, and the gimmick is different, but yeah, these are not my preferred playstyle of battleships. If you're going to have only 8 guns, then give me something like Bismarck or Tirpitz, where you've got a high degree of survivability to go with it, and the secondaries as a bonus. And this kind of doesn't. If you're in the more fragile kind of battleship, you definitely end up more reliant on your teammates to do the heavy lifting in terms of being smart, tanking damage, etc, etc. But as matches like this amply illustrate, that is a very unreliable way to play the game. Yeah. Can I even make 50k? Probably not. Oh man. Oh, we're close. I wonder if my secondaries can do something against that Mars. I don't think there's any point in a secondary build on this, to be honest. It's just absolutely not sturdy enough. That was just... Oh, there we go, 50k. That game was just sad. That was just sad. It really was. Oh dear. Oh well. Right, well, the less said about that game, the better. Yeah, that was just painful to be a part of. I think even in a much stronger ship, much tougher ship, we might have stayed alive for a bit longer, we might have done a bit more damage, but it wouldn't have changed the outcome. It's the kind of scenario where it doesn't really matter what ship you're in, you're not going to save a team that collapses that badly. So that is it for the Yumihari. It's okay, it's not bad, but it's definitely not my preferred playstyle. And you know, like I said, I will be grinding this line out rather than just free XPing, because I think that's the more interesting thing to do. I'm interested to see what the tier 9 and tier 10 will be like. So you can do all the usual things down underneath the video, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.